Today you join me on the Stainforth Canal at Thorn. It's one of my favourite venues and I've not been here for a couple of years, which is more fool me because it's absolutely stuffed with fish. I'm going to show you some of the Colmic items I use for two of my favourite methods, bread punch fishing and chopworm and caster. So now I'll take you through the bait and I'll prepare it. First is liquidised bread. What I like about liquidised bread is it's effective and sometimes can get an immediate response from the fish, and also it's unbelievably cheap. Because the water's quite deep, I need something to assist it getting down to the bottom, and for that I'm going to use some crushed oyster shell. Crushed oyster shell's also white, so I think also adds to the attraction. Liquidised bread is difficult to add water to, so what I usually do is add water to the shell first and then mix the crumb into it. I like to use a small container for adding water to stop me over putting too much water in. Drain off any excess. And then add about 2 times more punch crumb than the gravel or shell. And then give it a good mix through. What happens then is the water is evenly distributed through the crumb and there's not many lumps. And it doesn't take long to be able to form a small ball which will sink quite quickly. For the longer line I'm going to use a mix of groundbait and dark lean. This will be mixed 50-50. If you're trying to target skimmers, lean isn't essential and I wouldn't feed any groundbait for skimmers without it. In the tray I've got 600 millilitres of groundbait and I'll add the same of dark lean to it. It's best to overwet the groundbait a little bit to accommodate the dryness of the lean when it comes out of the bag. Once you've added the lean, just gently fold it all together. This avoids making too many lumps. I don't want the groundbait to be too stiff because we're feeding on this shelf on a slope. So I want it to get out there and sit quite nicely. So I've started on my punch line. The reason for this is it's quite an instantaneous bait. And it also gives you a good idea of what's in your peg, because if the better fish want to chew, they'll come straight onto this. The float's a 3/4 gram Colmic jolly, which needs no introduction whatsoever. And that's just shotted with a bulk of number 8 shot and a few number 10 droppers. The hook's an N957 in a size 18, and this is perfect for bits of punch between 4 and 6 millimetre. I prepared the feed so the fish are on or just off the bottom. Whoa. Which makes them easier to catch. If you're using a lighter feed, the fish might be swimming all over the bottom foot or so and it will make them difficult to catch. The hook length is 0.8 stream, but it's only 4 inches long, which means I can push a shot quite close to the hook. This gives me a lot more positive bite. But if we start missing bites, I can always move the shot away and see if it develops a bit better. The preparation for the hook bait could be simpler. It's just a medium slice of Warburton straight out the bag. And the only reason I cut the crust off is just so it fits into my little vintage bread slice holder. Oh, there we go. The bites are really confident, so once it goes, it's not coming back. There we go. And it's not just for roach. There we go. We've got a nice little skimmer. Let's took a liking to a bit of the old bread punch. There we go. This is a good way to start a match, even if bloodworm's allowed. And as well as being a lot cheaper, sometimes you can get a lot better stamper fish on the bread as well. A 4mm piece of bread's about right to start with, because that's good for fish. The target fish you want, which is usually about 1.5 ounces plus. If you're targeting smaller fish, I'd just use a smaller piece of punch if you're not expecting anything bigger. Well, the punchline's lasted for about an hour and it's faded away to nothing. So now it's sort of like a perfect time to look on the long line. If you remember, we fed it with some ground bait and lean, with some chopworm and casters. Hopefully some better fish have settled over it. The float choice I made for this line might be a surprise to a few people, but it's actually a flat float. But the design of it, with the bristle and the eye and the stem all in a straight line, means it behaves like a normal float in still water. There we go. Little skimmer, there we go. The one I'm using today is 0.75 of a gram. Now, if for any reason the lock gate opens and the flow picks up, this float can handle it and it can perform as well as a float maybe 1.25 grams, 1.5 grams, but being half the weight. So it makes it very versatile. This pattern of flow is also very useful on large still waters with a lot of tow and small canals and drains. The float is a Colmic navy. They start at about 0.3 of a gram and go up to 20 grams. So it's a good range of sizes. As you can see, there's hardly any pull on the water at all and the float's performing perfectly, and there we go. There we go, this is a better fish. There we go, so we've got a small perch there. This could be expected with worms and casters. We're going to get a good mix of species over there. Just trying a dead red maggot to start with. And then we'll give it a minute and try a bit of worm or caster. Same as any other float, just get the line nice and tight and then just lower the last 18 inches in slowly. And then what they do with the float will orientate and point in the very slight downflow. There's not much resistance with these floats either because they're so thin. The shot pattern on this float is not too dissimilar from the bread punch float, but what I've done is put the the lead bulk a little further up the line by about 4 to 6 inches, and the other 2 shots are spread further out. And what this will do, it'll allow a slower fall towards the bottom, which gives the better fish time to watch it come down. And it also gives the fish a bit more chance to take the bait before it moves off and indicates on the float. Don't want to be striking too early. And bump fish can pretty much destroy the line over there. There we go. Little run of perch there. Might need to feed again. Right, so I've just topped up this small bowl of ground bait and a few casters. And it's resulted in 3 good bites. And the last bite was from that nice little skimmer there. So see if we can make it 4 out of 4. The hook I'm using on this rig is a B957. And it's on a slightly longer hook length of 6 inches. And it's in a size 18, which allows me to use a wide range of baits, where it's a caster, a dead maggot or a worm, or maybe 2 or 3 pinkies. The hook length is an 010 fluorocarbon, which is Colmic King. And it's a very durable line, and it's quite stiff for an 010, which I think makes it more difficult for a fish to reject the bait once it's taken it in. It's also very durable. Something playing with the float now. Oh, come on. There we go. 2, 3. Oh, and there we go. The rig's set about 3 inches over depth, which gives the fish plenty of time to take the bait, but not too far over depth that it can take the hook too far down. There we go. Bit perky for a skimmer. There we go. There we go. The elastic I'm using on this rig is a 1.2mm hollow, and it's very soft and forgiving. And it can allow me to strike into and play fish from quite small to quite large. And there's very little chance, it lessens the chance of bumping off these better skimmers. On the long line, accuracy is the name of the game. So I'm using that vent pipe on the boat as a far bank marker. And that's where I'm cupping my balls in straight in front of that. Now, there's no problem with moving about, trying different areas of your peg, but you always know where to come back to if you have to refeed. That's been quite an enjoyable session. Started off on the punch, lasted about an hour as we expected, and then we got some better fish on the longer line. Every day's a school day, and we found out that feeding and then going straight over the top produced a better fish today, so maybe that's because I've just sat on my own. Maybe it's because the fish are just a bit more confident, I don't know. For further information on any of the gear I've used today, check out the Colmic UK Facebook page or visit your local Colmic stockist.